Okay, so you want to know what ICE is really doing in America right now? Let me give you a little bit of insight to the truth that they're trying to erase, what they're trying to remove, and why they're doing what they're doing. First off, this is an Algonquin Indian. Okay? This is my great-great-grandfather, John Smith, founder and president of the Bank of Black Wall Street. Now, John Smith married Mary Elizabeth Smith. Now, Indian census rolls of 1885 to 1940. There's my great-grandmother right there. Okay. Mary Harris, okay, wife, 1893. Name Indians of Tulip. All right, census of the Tulalip. All right, okay, so that's my great-grandmother right there, labeled as an Indian. Her name is Mary Harris, or Shakonowak Harris, okay? Sack and Fox of the Miss and Sack and Fox Agency, okay? Now notice how her brother is Moses Harris. Now remember, these are Algonquin people, so Mary and Moses, and she married John. Now notice how she's on all the census. Notice how my great-grandfather, John W. Smith. All right, now notice the names, Mary, Moses, John. Don't forget his stolen brother, Joseph. All right. Now, citizen Palawatoni. Sauk and Fox. The Sack and Fox. Again, right? Now, as you can see by my cousins, that the Algonquin people are not what you see today, right? My father, the great man, the late and great Michelangelo Johnson, right? Notice the names, Michelangelo Johnson, right? John Smith. Now look at my auntie right here, right? Where have you seen these faces? I'm going to show you this one time because, yes, my family, parts of it are from Kentucky. But, see, I know my family's royalty already because it's already been explained to me that we come from some very prominent things. Recognize that face? No? You don't recognize that face? Here, let me introduce you to my grandmother. Right. See, these are what the original people of the land look like. See that guy right there? Yeah. See that guy right there? Okay. See me over here? Okay. Don't mind my light-skinned ass. Look. Okay. Great-grandfather. And that's my grandmother right there. And these are your statues you find around the Americas. So, you know what ICE is here doing?
The second verse of the Book of Mormon, Nephi states that he makes his record in the language of his father, which consists of the learning of the Jews and the language of the Egyptians. Both Hebrew and Egyptian are mentioned again at the end as Mormon and Moroni attempt to complete the Book of Mormon record. And then in Mosiah, we learn that Lehi, having been taught in the language of the Egyptians, could read the engravings on the brass plates.
There is linguistic evidence that ties Mesoamerica to the Near East as well. Brian Stubbs, who is a Latter-day Saint and is an expert in the Uto-Aztecan languages, has been comparing them not just with Hebrew, but with languages cognate to Hebrew, such as Arabic. And he has concluded that there are a lot of remnants of the Hebrew language that one can find in the Uto-Aztecan language.
As a linguist, I have found considerable evidence of Hebrew and Egyptian in at least one language family, Uto-Aztecan. I have not yet published my findings for the linguistic community. The Uto-Aztecan language family is a language, about 30 related languages that are descended from what linguists call Proto-Uto-Aztecan. Their geographic location ranges from Idaho in the north to Mexico City in the south, basically. There are a few dialects in other places. About half of them are in the southwest United States, the other half are in Mexico. Actually, what I find in Uto-Aztecan is two different dialects of Northwest Semitic and quite a bit of Egyptian. that has the same sound correspondences as one of those dialects of Northwest Semitic. Northwest Semitic is the branch of Semitic that Hebrew comes out of, Hebrew and Phoenician and so forth. That's extremely interesting because that's exactly what the Nephite merger would be, is this merger of two different dialects of Northwest Semitic, one of them having a significant amount of Egyptian in them. And so it's extremely consistent, in fact, so consistent that the probability of that happening by chance would be very low. Another thing we need to keep in mind about the Mulekites is that we don't know how they got here, except they obviously crossed the ocean somehow, but the Phoenicians were the prominent seafaring people of that time near Palestine. And in fact, the fact that the people of Mulek named their main waterway the river Sidon, well, Sidon is a major port city of the Phoenicians.
We do have archaeological evidence that Mesoamerican peoples actually did move north and settled in the American Southwest, mostly in the area of Arizona, New Mexico. Chaco Canyon, for example, in New Mexico, there's evidence of two different cultures living there side by side. And one of these is very close to what we find in Mesoamerica. They build the same kind of structures, they use the same kind of pottery, and so on. The Book of Mormon also talks about the two remaining sons of the first Helaman, who actually left and went to the North Country. We have others going to the north. We have the Gadian robbers at one point going to the north.
First of all, it might be good to know that Uto-Aztecan is not really all that far from the Mayan area. In fact, some dialects, Aztecan dialects, are actually south of Mayan areas. Some Pipil is located in various places.
Okay, right. So first, let's get some things clear. Now that you know what the people look like that are supposed to be in these areas, that are supposed to be the people that are the actual original people from this land, let's clear the air. The Know Nothing Party, officially the American Party, was a mid-1850 U.S. political government movement rooted in anti-immigration and anti-Catholic nativism, fearing foreign-born influence, especially from Irish and German Catholics, leading to calls for restoration of immigration and political power for foreigners. They gained significant political traction before fracturing, with many members joining the Republican Party, though their legacy influenced later nativist movements and immigration debates. Members were secretive, and when questioned about the organization would reply, "I know nothing," hence the name. The Know Nothing Party was also known as the Native American Party, as it grew out of secret nativist groups like the Order of the Star-Spangled Banner aimed to curb the immigration, especially Catholic influence, adopting the name American Party but keeping the Know Nothing nickname due to members' secretive denials of affiliation. The Native American Party was an early name or description of the Know Nothing Party, which operated under the American Party banner. Their party was based on anti-immigration and nativist ideals. See, your natives or your Native American Party or your Know Nothing Party came here on the same fucking boats as everybody else. That's them right there. See, they were used and they were part of the people coming here with the rest of the people coming here. And they were given our land and our names and our titles as payment for helping remove the original people. Because they found out in the 1400s that America existed. You see, the Asian slaves were brought by Spain and France, which are called Chinos, right? And the Chinos were reclassified as Indians, which, as you can see, you're Native Americans, you're Spanish, you're French, you're Jewish, all are Ashkenazis. So basically, ICE is rounding up everybody not from here.